So getting to the facility or providing access to care in the facility is no more enough to save lives. There must be quality. But that gap is there. Because if you look at Ghana, 9 out of every 10 women have attended antenatal 4 times during their pregnancy. Another 9 out of 10 gave birth in a health facility. But the babies are dying. So what is happening? It means that they make contact with our facilities, but they still die. So there is this quality component that must come. And if I say quality, sometimes we only look at the health facility. But it's the responsibility of everybody. The family, the community, the health system. All of us must come together to address the quality gap. Because the community must demand quality. And the health system must be able to provide quality. So that demand and supply relationship is key in addressing quality. If we want to save newborns, our future must cost us something. There is no way that you would think that I will put nothing in the ground and you would yield something. Reverend Steve, when I was in Legon, they tell us the sower goes to sow. It will cost the sower something. You have corn, you could have used it for kenke. You are deciding that I am going to throw this back into the ground to rot so that I can get something. So if Ghana wants a future for our newborns, it must cost us something. We need the right equipment. Sometimes we think that, oh, it's the health workers who don't care. But they must go to work to have the right equipment to work with. They must be motivated. The human resource must be motivated to work. Motivation is not always about money. And I can tell you that there are many health workers, and I'm not defending the health workers because we have our challenges too. But there are many health workers who have the right intentions about what they want to do for people, but they are helpless in the situations where they are. Infrastructure gaps. For example, breast milk banks. We've gone to the stage where it's not everybody who can have breast milk after giving birth, right? If we can create these banks, then it supports everybody to be able to get that. The other thing that I want us to think about, which is a human rights issue, and I'll talk about what breastfeeding is maternity leave in Ghana. We are giving 3 months of maternity leave, but we are expecting mothers to breastfeed for 6 months. And the next one is that if you go to many of our workplaces, even in hospitals, there is no space created for safe breastfeeding. So you can imagine us in a university, and then suddenly you've come to the university and you take out your breast and you start breastfeeding in the class or where? There are no spaces that are created in many places to allow mothers to be able to breastfeed. So all these things are things that we should think about because it will cost us money to get them working. Like my screen should be working. Right. So, I am stuck here, but I was going to talk about breastfeeding. To be honest...
Doc, please, you can continue.
Good, it's worked. Human breast milk is a game changer. We did some work in Kintampo some years ago, and many people in the Bono East region have heard about the Obapa Vita trial. We followed about 270,000 population with about 120,000 women, and we're visiting them once every 4 weeks. In that time space, we realized that breastfeeding, if you breastfeed a child in the first hour after birth, if you initiate breastfeeding, you cut their deaths by half. So half of all babies that die, if you breastfeed them within the first hour, you cut half out of it. If you breastfeed a child, it is food from the mother, so you have less allergies, and there are many other complications that we can talk about. The development of the brain is also promoted by breast milk and human breast milk. So if you breastfeed your child, they perform better in school, they have better economic productivity. So you can believe that they have a brighter future if you breastfeed your child compared to if you do not breastfeed your child. And beyond that, it promotes bonding. So there's bonding between the mother and the baby. So I would end and say that we have to be intentional in investing in newborns. Preterm babies are particularly vulnerable. Sometimes we think it is sophisticated equipment that saves lives, but normally it is not. It is the smallest things that we do. The family has a responsibility. I know that in many communities in Ghana, we have something they call asram. And when they talk about asram, they say this is not a hospital disease. In the Bono East region, when we're doing our intervention, we told them that our doctors have now been trained to treat asram. And I can assure you that that promoted facility attendance. We need to get our communities empowered to know that asram is not something that is as hopeless as we thought it was in the past. There are interventions that can save babies with asram in our hospitals.